It's January 1935, and Eddie Bauer and his friend Red Carlson are out fishing in the frozen waters of the Olympic Peninsula. On the way back, all of a sudden the weather changes rapidly, and Bauer almost freezes to death. Eventually, the two make it back home safe, but the experience of sweating and freezing in the cold gives Eddie Bauer an idea for a better winter jacket. What we know today as the down jacket hasn't changed much since Bauer registered its patent in 1940. His visionary design allowed for the jacket to breathe, keeping the wearer dry, while the outside of the jacket insulated against the wind and cold rain. The down jacket, or puffer jacket as it's also known, was initially sold to hunters, mountaineers and skiers. The use of down feathers from geese ensured the lightweight and warmth outdoorsmen were looking for. But how did we get from Bauer's specialized survival jacket to today's fashionable down jacket? In 1937, while Bauer was experimenting with quilted down, the father of American couture, Charles James, was working on the first puffy jacket. His version was intended as an evening jacket. To this day, his jacket is considered to be one of his most important designs, a triumph in both cut and construction. In his own words, he saw the pneumatic jacket as a technical challenge and fantasy. He also predicted that his jacket would have no importance because it was so hard to produce. Although James' pneumatic jacket became a cult object among fashion crowd, the down jacket was an item used mainly by outdoor enthusiasts. The only that proved Charles James wrong was Norma Kamali. In the 1970s, she married the worlds of the outdoors and high fashion through her unique take on the down jacket, entitled the sleeping bag coat. Kamali says her inspiration came, maybe not surprisingly, from a camping trip. Once she had the idea for this design, Kamali explains that for a few years she continued to use actual sleeping bags. The design evolved and she ended up creating two coats and stitching them together. The two layers of the coat with the synthetic alternative to down placed in between creates a vacuum where the outside cold air exchanges with the warmth of the body. With the two worlds of outdoors and high fashion neatly united by Kamali's design, it should come as no surprise that the 1980s further popularized the down jacket as an everyday item. And where else would you wear something that should keep you warm at all times, if not in the sun-drenched hills of Italy? The Moncler jacket associated with skiing and thereby wealth has turned into a street-style symbol by the Paninari. Milan's vibrant youth scene introduced the down jacket as streetwear, even though it was meant for activities such as mountaineering. While embracing an Americana aesthetic, the bright colors of their clothing were distinctively Italian. The puffer jacket's street credibility increases side by side with the hip-hop's mainstream status. Rap artists from colder cities like New York and Chicago turned the down jacket into an oversized, colorful status symbol that glared right back at the rich white man hitting the slopes every year. Not being a snow sports enthusiast didn't matter anymore. The down jacket achieved mainstream status. In the early 2000s, high fashion houses continued to push the appeal for the puffer jacket through different iterations. Nowadays, it's really hard to find a notable designer that hasn't tried to reimagine the down jacket that was invented almost 100 years ago. The shape and size might have been influenced over the years, but the manufacturing process didn't take great leaps. There are a few alternatives to what you can stuff inside the jacket to give it its thermal regulation properties. The most common is goose or duck down feathers. Down feathers are the lightweight, cluster-like feathers that birds use for thermal regulation. It usually grows on their chests. The thin natural fibers create a matrix of air pockets that increase insulation without gaining too much weight. Up until 2009, manufacturers didn't bother too much with the sourcing of these feathers. But when it came to light that the birds are plucked while alive, 3 consecutive times, sometimes even stitched back so they can regrow feathers, something had to change. Certifications such as the Responsible Down Standard and the Global Traceable Down Standard quickly became the norm. These certifications are a means by which companies can assure consumers that the down in their puffer jackets was ethically sourced using the best practice of animal care. Each standard ensures there are no live plucking or force-feeding practices and that the animals providing down and feathers are humanely treated according to the 5 freedoms of animal welfare. There is one country where animal rights are virtually non-existent. So please avoid buying down jackets produced in China. Instead, keep an eye on those 2 certifications. Another alternative for the jacket's insulation can be recycled down feathers. We've been using feathers for a multitude of items such as duvets, pillows, or other down jackets for a long while now. Increasingly, manufacturers will recycle down and reuse it to create new jackets. The down feathers are removed, cleaned, and then sorted according to their quality. A high-quality, sustainable alternative to virgin down, the recycled down, offers the same worth-to-weight ratio at a fraction of the environmental cost. The third and main alternative to down is polyester filling. Polyester is an artificial fiber created from petroleum. In essence, a plastic, the fiber has great hydrophobic properties, is elastic and quick to dry. And as with any other plastic, it is unfortunately not biodegradable. Roughly 36 million tons of polyester are produced every year. That's why the fourth alternative for good down jacket filling is recycled polyester. Since our oceans and landfills are now basically mountains of plastic, it's a great resource for recycling. This means water bottles, industrial polyester waste, and even old garments. Recycled polyester decreases our use of petroleum, keeps waste out of landfills, and lowers our overall carbon footprint. Recycled polyester offers the same benefits as traditional polyester. The shell of a modern down jacket is typically made from polyester or nylon. Just like polyester, nylon is a synthetic fiber made from petroleum. Nylon's properties such as increased durability and weather resistance make it ideal for this type of jackets. Still, I would suggest going for the eco-friendly alternative. We don't need to produce more plastic. Brands can recycle nylon from post-industrial waste fiber, yarn collected from a spinning factory, and discarded industrial fishing nets. I've shown you how the puffer jacket progressed through the years, so you can see beyond the fashion appeal it has today. Once you know what it's made for and how it's actually produced, you begin to see that the puffer jacket is a wardrobe item made to be indestructible. One puffer jacket will probably last you a lifetime. It is something that you can truly wear for good. Let's see how. Whatever type of down jacket you decide to buy, understand that it will be with you for a very, very long time. As you've seen, the environmental and ethical costs to producing this item are huge. And because a puffer jacket is made out of synthetics, it can't be thrown away, it has to be recycled. So take your time and make sure that the down is sourced to the available standard. It comes somewhere outside of China. And it's made preferably out of recycled down or recycled polyester. But before buying a new jacket, please ask yourself these questions. Do you really need a new puffer jacket? And what is actually wrong with the one you already have? Wash your puffer jacket once or twice during the cold season if absolutely necessary. You can air it out and use a cloth to clean off small stains or the cuffs. Wash your garment at a maximum temperature of 30 degrees and do not use the spin cycle. If your jacket has down feathers as a filling, don't use fabric softeners. The softeners will strip away the natural oil from the feathers, which can cause them to become brittle, break, and lose their loft. Line them dry in a well-ventilated area until the down is completely dry. Redistribute the down filling with your hands until it looks like new. Clean your down jacket before storing it away. Never stuff or compress your jacket in a small space, because packing your down jacket will cause feathers to clump into lumps. While in storage, allow your down jacket to breathe. Do not wrap it in plastic. Instead, use a cotton or linen cover, which will protect it from any light damage or dust. If you got a hole or accidentally ripped your puffer jacket, you can easily repair it. There are many step-by-step instructions on Patagonia's website if you prefer to repair it by yourself, or you can just take it to any repair shop or tailor in your neighborhood. With so many puffer jackets in circulation, there is no need to buy a new one. Secondhand puffer jackets usually cost around $50–70, and the cuts and colors will not differ too much from today's style. And if they do, lucky you found yourself a rare gem. As I said before, puffer jackets are not biodegradable, so the best way to discard them is to give them away for recycling. You can leave them in the special bins that you can see in some shops, or just Google the closest location where you can give away textiles for recycling in your city. If you don't need to own a puffer jacket on a regular basis but just need it for a vacation or short trip, consider renting it instead of buying a new one. For example, online rental services like Rent the Runway will let you rent a nice looking jacket from 4 days to 1 month. If none of the above options work for you, I would suggest buying a new winter jacket only from sustainable brands. For their puffer jackets, they use only recycled down or synthetics made out of plastic waste. You can find a list of brands like that on my website. I hope these 7 ways of finding and caring for your puffer jacket will help you wear it for good. Transitioning to a sustainable wardrobe takes time, so don't judge yourself too harshly for the past decisions. Instead, make sure that the winter jacket you already own lasts for as long as possible. And then, if you need a new one, you know what to do. That being said, I have some questions for you. What is a winter classic that you've had forever and swear by? And will your next jacket be a down jacket? Let's discuss it in the comments and inspire each other. I hope you found this video interesting and useful, and if you did, don't forget to share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.